it's 1:02. I'll go ahead and get started. Since,
Right, either people are here or they're not here.
well, that's fine. I mean, I knew Friday was gonna be light. So we have 10 people online. Thanks for joining us. This is our third workshop of the series of 4. If you missed them on Monday, we did one where we eliminate jargon from our everyday speak and try to simplify what we do. And then on Wednesday, we did an elevator pitch that included a competition with 2 people winning gift cards.
Student worker did
Vanessa's was really good,
really,
and Antonio's was really good too.
Okay.
I think those first 2 I will probably do again in February, because January is a little hairy. And I don't know what my situation is gonna look like. So with this third one, it's gonna be an overview. We'll put a pin in that. I'll answer that later. So the third workshop is design. So this one's gonna cover Canva mostly.
okay, cool.
For those that are online, the majority of my work is done in InDesign and Photoshop, but I've been using InDesign since 2003. And by no means am I professional, so please, this is all an amateur production. But I'm gonna go over some basic tools and tips for design in general, since a lot of us do work in other applications. So what I'm hoping that you'll be able to do is to understand how design supports clear communication, and how you can apply basic visual design principles. I welcome you to explore tools like Canva and Adobe Creative Cloud. So this afternoon, when I send a recap email, I will include these 2 handouts that those in person will have, as well as an in-depth getting started guide for Adobe InDesign for those that do have it. Again, I did not take any classes. This is all self-taught over the last 20 years. And then hopefully when you see these tips and when I put Canva into action, you'll see how to create a simple and effective design. So as we mentioned on Monday and Wednesday, everything's connected to communication, so is design. So design is not decoration. It is in fact communication, because our eyes are drawn to certain elements, whether it's on TV, billboards, printed advertising, our eyes are drawn to certain places. So for my examples, I am using pre-Chris and post-Chris as examples.
Okay.
So this was before I took this over. This just seems like a lot. Some people do not read sideways. If you want to read sideways, by all means. I just feel like there's just too much. And also, you'll notice one thing about Canva is the margins are hidden. So a lot of people tend to design everything all the way to the edges, rather than leaving a half-inch margin all the way around. Because the half-inch will allow for you to print and not get cut off, whereas the full width and bleeds is meant for professional printing, where the machines cut. So in my opinion, the left is not good. In my opinion, the right is a little bit better. So we add iconography to everything just to break it up. I try not to use images on anything we do outside of reports. So unless a one-pager calls for it, say if it's something to do with post-secondary inclusion, where we use the groups across all the campuses, or if it's something teacher-related, we'll incorporate headshots or maybe some group photos. Otherwise, we try to stick to iconography, thick headlines, a little body text. And when we get into the legislative priorities, this is the thinned out version. If y'all seen draft 1 on when we're writing it, it is completely different and it's a lot more in depth. And we try to cut it down because these documents are meant to be read on the fly and understood quickly. They're not meant to be a life story.
Are these in the share drive?
Yeah, and so I do have in our Canva master account, I have templates that are built in the brand templates, but not everybody has access to them.
Cause I know Dawn uses.
But I do have some links that I can share with people that you don't need to have an official Canva account through work that you can use.
Oh.
That way, you can play around with the template. I just need to put our new template with just the updated header. And time is getting away from me because there's not enough hours in the day. Megan, you had your hand up.
Did. You mentioned
Iconography,
what is that?
icons.
The use of
The little
icons.
things on the left?
So,
Yeah,
I did not take my jargon class on Monday. So a lot of our stuff, and you're gonna see it in the new website.
That's not a Chris word, that is a real word.
That is a real design
Okay.
word. You'll see this in the new website when it launches in December. So a lot of our stuff, Megan, will put against blue or orange circles with white icons in the middle. I try to put them in circles for them to pop. Sometimes they will stand alone, and when they stand alone, they're either blue with an orange trim or vice versa. The website will be mostly just the icons themselves, not with circles. But any documents we do, I try to keep them in the circles just so they pop, and so I know that they're the same size throughout.
Thank you.
But a good question. So that was meant to be more steps, but again, I kind of lost for time this week. So basic design principles. A lot of this stuff is also a part of the ADA compliance things that we have to meet that I'll talk about next week. So 1 is contrast, 2 is repetition, 3 is alignment, and then 4 is proximity. So images, icons in proximity to the text. So in the master plan, anytime we have a chart or a graph on a page, it's because it's next to the paragraph that mentions that stuff. Now, Kim Kirkpatrick, what are the first letters of each of those words? Say them out loud for me.
Crap.
Crap. I like acronyms. Yes, Lupe, it is PG rated.
Yeah, like she never heard crap.
Right? So crap, basic design
She's got
principles.
dogs.
CRAP, contrast, repetition, alignment, and
Right.
proximity. So contrast, that deals with colors. You want to make sure that it's legible, that the colors aren't clashing. And this will be something in the stuff I share with staff again next week and throughout the months leading up to the federal guidelines that change in April. But we have to be cognizant of the shade of colors we use so that they surpass or meet the ADA standards. Repetition, just like in any good writing, when you're writing a story, repetition is good. That way it hones back on the idea. And again, repetition can also be used as consistency. So when you look at all of our stuff lined up next to each other, you can tell it comes from the same source. I'll always tweak a little bit. It's not 100% consistent, but it's pretty close. And then alignment. So this is where sometimes I think people get a little haywire on Canva, is they have alignment things like one's left aligned, one's right aligned, then you have a random centered thing. And it's like, what are you doing? So you need to pick an alignment. Do you want it everything centered? Do you want everything left aligned, everything right aligned? Typically everything is left aligned in design or centered. Right aligned, unless it calls for the layout, it won't be. But whatever your alignment is, stay consistent. And then proximity. So whatever icon, graphic, photo, you want to make sure it's close to the text.
I tried it one day.
You want to make sure it is where Carla's on.
What is it?
You want to make sure it's close.
Bueno?
And it's neighboring.
It is good.
He's
I
good.
think it has like dark chocolate and
Carla is making me hungry.
Delivery
I asked her, I muted
dessert.
her. All right, so contrast. All right. So to show what we mean by contrast, specifically in the ADA sense,
Hard to read, yeah.
that is hard to read. light gray against a medium gray, okay? Now try that. You can read it. A lot of times, if it is,
It's not
Uh,
ordered.
well, again, I'm in PR. White text against a dark color is gonna work. So our dark blue, the white text passes ADA standards. Our white against our orange does not.
Cause some people can't see that bright orange. that
Correct.
bright-
Seeing is the bright one.
Yeah, so that would not pass on a web test.
Especially if you're colorblind, you can't.
No, exactly right. And there's a lot of colors.
Yeah.
That if you stick to blues, blacks and grays,
Yeah.
you're good.
Darker grays, obviously.
Yeah, darker grays, the lighter gray, it starts to mix in. So contrast hierarchy. So that's a bold headline. Yes, Lupe.
I just have a quick question, Chris. So for example, if we're doing charts,
Yep.
okay, so the blue and the white is the way to go, but now a lot of times we will do the orange with the white letters. That's even.
Yeah, we're gonna get rid of that. So what we'll use is we'll use the orange as a trim color.
Okay, gotcha.
And that's a very good question. So on about 95% of our tables that we do in Word or in other reports are dark blue with the white.
Dawn looks up, if you ever get a chartograph from her, she looks up the pixel, everything.
Yeah.
When she does charts, she's already looked all that up.
Yeah, so we'll continue to use orange
Or
as a border or an outline.
Yeah.
Because when we get to the new website in December, you're gonna see it's gonna be blue and white, and then orange will be an accent color.
Gotcha.
So going down to the contrast hierarchy, so that is a bold headline. That is an italicized subheader and then regular text. So contrast not only means color, contrast also means font size. So bold, regular, italics, you have to have enough contrast. And the point size, the font size has meet certain criteria. So for instance, that bold headline is probably 28 point to 32 point, whereas the regular text is typically anywhere from 12 to 16 point. So
And
as
you
long
wouldn't
as you have.
make the italicized that size of the regular, cause it's in too small order.
Correct. And it's also meant for screen readers as
Yeah.
well. You
Yeah.
want to make sure that contrast is visible.
Yeah. Got it.
Thank God this is already in the templates he provides.
Oh, I'll be spending January and February making sure that we got everything covered. Cause I want to make sure everybody is passing. So repetition. Again, we repeat our colors, we repeat our fonts, and you can tell both of these documents are related. Kim, how are they related? Can you, what gives it away that there's repetition involved?
There are consistent colors
Mm-hmm.
and the little mappy thing is on both the map and the map. Are those tied together?
That's called Louisiana.
Yes, but they're on both pages.
Correct.
And you repeated it.
And how about the footer at the
Oh, the
bottom?
map,
of
I
it?
didn't know we showed my map.
And in this case, the
Okay.
right justified makes sense.
Thank you. So again, repetition not only means using similar headers, but colors, fonts, styles, consistency. You'll notice that we use,
The whole picture of the booklet.
yeah,
references.
so like look on the right with the quotes. We use the arrows a lot instead of bullets.
Yeah.
To show that it is our document. So sometimes I'll use orange because I don't need to worry about ADA with that, or I'll use blue depending on what the content is. And then alignment. So these are two interior pages from our master plan document this year. So if you look on the left-hand side, the text is left aligned, the graphics are right aligned. That way they are
Stay
in
there.
proximity to everything that it's related to.
Yeah.
Same thing on the right page, which I think is page 9 of the master
And
plan.
I like the consistency that they're all curved borders.
I was intentional about that this
I
year.
can't stand when some are boxed and some
Yeah.
are rounded.
This year, I wanted to soften the edges a little bit, cause sometimes
Yeah.
borders, if they're too square, it feels too rigid. And I wanted to make sure I did that with the QR codes. So you'll notice the QR codes, while they are right aligned to the page, the text is centered.
Yeah,
So you can mix and match just as long as you don't have stuff like blowing up your eyeballs.
and Lupe, that's what I used to try to do in the reports, like that the charts filled up wouldn't be, they matched the margins, they wouldn't be, some would be this small, and then, you know what I mean, like all
Yeah,
on
Yeah.
each other in all different sizes, like it was.
I have a bad habit of that, yeah. That's not my strength. That's why I'm in this class.
No,
Yeah.
and again, there's a lot of people, that's why I work so hard on providing the templates, because I know there's over 100 of us here. I can't help everybody, but if I give you a template, you can follow it for the most part. And if it passes the Lupe test of not being destroyed, then I know I did a pretty good job. All right.
Yeah,
So the next is proximity. Building on the last one, so for this one, on the left side, our tri-agency teacher apprenticeship initiative. So the first part says, what is the tri-agency, blah, 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 blah. It's a lot of freaking words. So we did a Venn diagram to the right of it to show the three parts: Louisiana Works, Department of Ed, Regents, and in the middle, the apprenticeship.
that's good, at a glance, you just see try, Drew.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
wanted to make sure we put that near the definition. So if they don't read the definition, they can see the graph there and they should be able to determine what it means. And then at the bottom, Michelle, where did this graphic come from? Who did we take it from? Do you remember?
The National Center for Grow Your Own.
Okay. So
Aaron.
I had adjusted that graphic to make it a little bit more Regents oriented. But at the very least, if you can just read the top Venn diagram and the bottom roadmap, you should get an idea of what this initiative is, hopefully.
I like the giant orange quote so that you know it's a quote.
mhm.
I like that.
So on the right side,
Right.
working with, she's talking on the right, so our work with Canusha for the one dual enrollment application across the state. They sent us a one pager. We wanted to make it Regents oriented. And it's important to know that, okay, where do I go? So we put the URL in big ass font, because at the very least, they know to go there. And it was important that we showed what the three major strengths are to it, and how using the applied DE, how that makes a difference. And instead of signing up for dual enrollment at your high school and going through that arduous process.
Do you make up the iconography?
No,
Yeah, where do we get a bank of iconographer?
That's what I was saying.
well,
Dawn uses a lot for our master plan to align to.
now, if y'all would use the SharePoint internally, I have a whole folder of
Okay, I
icons, like
see.
600 of them.
Okay,
I look at your SharePoint all the time, Chris.
Courtney, I'm calling shenanigans.
No, I don't.
But on this handout, there's two places, the noun project and flat icon. Those are both free resources.
now, find there. Now, does it put them, do we have to translate them into the blue circle
they're-
and the white?
So the ones I have internally are already broken down in orange, blue,
You can pick which colors.
white.
Okay,
And then if I don't have them in that, I can switch them for you.
cool.
And then in Canva, it allows you, a lot of Canva's icons are similar to what we use. But in Canva, you can pick the color, which I have the hex code on the back of this two-sided one that shows you what our color codes are.
That's what I was
Got it.
talking about with Dawn whenever she.
Yeah, I know where that, I find that.
Yeah.
Use
Also
that.
find all of the colors of the logos in the branding
Yeah,
Yeah, the branding guide.
That's another
on the
document I need to update.
that's on the shared
Yeah,
drive.
it's the shared
Keep it
drive.
evergreen.
Not the-
It is evergreen. I get antsy and I don't like keeping the same look for like too long.
Yeah.
I need to refresh it, but that's going back to my college athletics days. So color fonts and imagery tips. So obviously use your organization's brand colors. For us, blue is, the hex code is 23418F. And then for orange, it is F2612D. And then our preferred gray is 4D. Also, they're all in the back of the second page. Oh, look at that. And I popped them up.
Good job.
So stick to 2 to 3 font families. So on everything we do, the majority of our stuff is the Gotham font. We also use Source Sans Pro.
Wait, Gotham.
Gotham.
Have that written on it?
I don't think it's on this one.
Gotham.
But that is in the style guide as
Okay.
well as in the SharePoint. I have a folder. So the Gotham font and Source Sans Pro. Source Sans Pro typically uses the body text. Gotham will be the headlines and the headers. You can also use Source Serif Pro as a headline text. But that,
I open up the PowerPoint, highlight it and look up at the font.
Yeah.
well, that's a good point. So for our PowerPoints, I use Arial.
Arial though, yeah.
Because it's on every single computer.
Yep.
So it doesn't bother me that Arial is not one of our fonts. But if I know that if
Print.
we're having a board meeting like in Monroe last month, I know their computer, they're gonna have Arial. So it's easy, consistency, simplicity. Same thing with anything downstairs. I just keep it Arial. That way I don't have to worry about fixing it and I know everything is set.
We've had that problem before when sometimes Tristan had done things on his Mac.
Mac.
Well, so the Mac,
All over.
well, it doesn't help that Microsoft's new default font is Aptos. It's not Arial.
That just screwed me up with a document I was working
Yeah,
on.
so it used to be Calibri or Calibri, however you say it.
Yeah.
Aptos is close to Arial. I can tell the difference. But yeah, I don't know why. I mean, they haven't been Arial for a decade. I don't know why they do it that way. But in anything design related, we use Gotham and we use Source Sans Pro. Source Sans Pro and Source Serif Pro are on every Microsoft product. It's on most Mac products. But Arial lives everywhere and Gotham is a specialty font that is in
Source
Adobe, but
Sans Pro and what was the other one?
Source Serif, Serif.
SE.
So the good thing is all three of those fonts are in Canva. So the Gotham
That's
family
good.
is in Canva, which is nice.
That's good to know.
Puts it up there.
And then use high quality relevant images. I don't put this in the shared drive primarily for space, but on our comms internal drive, I have about 3,000 photos of institutions and students and classrooms. So if there's something that you see that we don't have or want, it's an easy email and I can either provide that for you or get with our system people and get it. We always try to update our photos up to twice a year from the institutions if we can, just because we have so many damn reports and so many other things that we just want to have some freshness and not going back to the well to the same 10, 20 photos. And then leave breathing room, or what you'll hear is white space. So you don't have to go top to bottom. Leave some marginal white space. You don't have to fill every hole. You'll see that sometimes in our master plan document, I have to fill every crevice just because I have to. But for instance, the HBCU report that we just finished, there's a lot more white space. I've spread the text out with a lot larger photos. Sometimes it calls for that. Sometimes I can't. So tools for every skill. So with Canva and Adobe, So Canva has templates, collaboration, brand kits, resize, and Magic Write. So the Magic Write is their AI portion. You can resize any document, any graphic to whatever you want on Canva. Sometimes the resolution will be tested, but you can resize pretty much everything. The templates that we have on Canva for us are either 8.5 by 11, or they are presentation size, which is 1920 by 1080. That is the 16 by 9 ratio, which is HD quality. For those in the room that have been at Regents a while, you know that we used to have 4 by 3, the boxier PowerPoint template that drove me nuts. Whereas 16 by 9 fits these televisions, fits the screens everywhere. And feels like you can either fit more in or you can read it better. So with Adobe Creative Cloud, these are the 3 primary apps that I use when it comes to any sort of design. So Illustrator is a vector image. So vector image is where you create your logos. Sometimes the charts and graphs for documents and the master plan I will do in Illustrator because I have a little bit more flexibility. And then I can make it small, make it big, and I can make the resolution really clear. InDesign is for layouts. So reports, one pagers, sometimes invitations. Most of that I will end up doing in Photoshop. So Photoshop is a lot of what we do for our social media graphics, photos. You can adjust the contrast, brightness, fix images. You can erase people out of the background.
That is so good to know.
So Photoshop does have an AI component, at least in their beta version that I use. That's not bad. That saves me some time if I need to remove something, duplicate something in the background, or fix some blemishes. InDesign and Illustrator don't have it yet, but I do know Adobe is gonna start building it in.
Do we have that Adobe Creative Cloud?
We do. I don't know how many licenses we have. I do know LumCon has one because I sent Brian and them an Adobe tips sheet today. And I say sheet, it was about
That's
12.
been around for a while.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
InDesign has been around since 2003. It used to be Adobe PageMaker,
Yes.
and PageMaker phased out, and then they went to InDesign, and that became their tool of choice. PageMaker was created by somebody else. Adobe bought it, they killed it, brought on InDesign, and it's gotten better over the years and the iterations. So pro tips for non-designers from a non-pro non-designer. I want to reiterate, I am an amateur. I am not a professional by any stretch of the imagination. Templates are your friend. That's why I try to make as many as I can. When I was younger, I thought I would just start over every time. Now that I'm 20 years in, templates make your life a hell of a lot easier. Stay consistent with your brand. I think we're doing a much better job now than we were 5 years ago when I didn't know what our colors were and why are we using 10 different fonts and everything. Align everything. So whether you want to be left, centered, right. The only alignment I don't particularly care for is justified. Maybe it's PTSD from my PhD dissertation, but I don't like.
Yeah.
I just don't like the way it looks, and I feel like you're forcing it to fill up space.
Like that at all.
Strong visuals, whether that's photos of students in action, classroom images, or if it's just icons. Any of those visuals can tell a story. Sometimes we will use graphs of certain kinds, whether it's master plan, the Tiger Stadium animated graphic, but whatever that strong visual can do, sometimes it tells the entire story that you need. And then avoid clutter and low contrast. So low contrast again, anything that is too bright that can't be read, or if you're putting gray on gray, black on gray, gray on black, it's hard to read. So you want to make sure your background is either dark and your text is white, or you want to make sure your background is white and your text is dark. So I was gonna make this interactive, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to my Canva now. And then let me stop share for a second.
Lupe,
Whoa,
Lupe, you just filled the entire screen.
You're a star, Lupe. Flip the hair.
well, not anymore, sorry.
Oh, no, too late.
So,
So questions before you move
Yeah.
on.
shoot,
Okay, so like pull that one up in the header. So what do we do in the cases of like what I find some of the struggles we've been having with some of these one pagers and stuff where that like that background is in the header where it has an image
yeah,
and it's great on, you know, computer, but when we are trying to print
When it
them, you can
prints,
see our printers
yeah.
are crappy, and then it just looks like a big blue blob, and then you can't
that's
tell that
why
that's there.
this year I'm going away from the background image. Only because of that. And we have tried, I've worked with IT, we cannot get it to work.
Yeah,
Even if,
It's really good when you send it out.
yeah,
yeah, that's what I'm saying, it looks great on,
even if you print it on one copier in the office, it's one shade of blue.
Uh-huh.
right.
Printed to the main copy room,
It's
it's a
like
darker,
blackish.
yeah,
blackish
and
blue.
it's all the same copiers, it's the same ink,
Yeah.
same
And
settings.
oranges look different too.
Yeah, we
No,
don't
right,
understand.
the oranges don't pop as
Yeah,
much.
we
They're
don't
like-
understand why it's not the same throughout, because we have all the same printers and copiers in the office.
From
Yeah.
someone who's
So even
with
like
the person
this,
who worked
so
at a print shop for 20
Is
years.
this really,
How machines work.
when you created it, is it really that bright blue and it came out this dark?
Yes,
Yes,
so, one of the
It's like
beautiful
the
things
supplemental.
with Canva now is I can upload a PDF and it will make it into a document for me.
Do that.
So it'll break it up,
you took an existing PDF.
took an existing PDF and I uploaded. That's how I built the
Canva.
templates.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so right here,
You go right there to.
so right here to upload, hit upload files. And you can upload a Photoshop document.
Then you can mess around with it. all.
Yeah, sometimes I need to re-upload some templates because some of the layers aren't showing up right. So I need to flatten it part of the image. But so this was a PDF. Not all of the alignment is there, not all the spacing is there. You'll notice that my arrows are gone.
Yeah,
So that's something that I have to add manually. But
Some of the.
so like right here, so what it does is, it does have some limitations. So it separated the arrows from the body text, which is a pain in the butt, but it's something that I can easily go back and do.
you just backspace in.
So I backspace and delete, and what you can do is drag this text box a little bit over. And then let's,
Start from scratch.
Yeah.
again, templates are your friend.
Oh, you don't still.
I don't have the
And we
arrow
would use
with
this in
me.
case of like, so we wanna create a whole different new one and different stuff,
Yeah.
but we wanna keep this kind of layout.
Yeah. So I did these in Canva because specifically Bree and Allison use them a lot because we have 1,000 task forces. And especially during legislative session, we're called the afternoon before to show up the next morning. And sometimes I'm not available.
Yeah,
So I want it empowers everybody. You can own your stuff.
yeah.
The tools are there. I want you to use the templates. And Dr. Reed is 100% on board. She knows that I can't do everything. And she loves a good template. So you'll notice when you upload the PDF, and this is gonna be for those that are on Zoom. I plan on doing a more in-depth graphics class.
So you're
Um,
deleting those or? what
I'm
are you-
deleting them to remove them. I'm gonna do a more in-depth graphics class and design class in the new year. It's gonna require everybody to bring a laptop so we could do it together. But this is just like overarching top level stuff. But so it puts everything into a text box. You'll notice that I've added the margins in here. So some of my stuff is kind of hovering around the edge. It's going over. But in my mind visually, I know I could not go really past that. So Canva's very easy to use. Have y'all all used Canva before?
Not a lot.
How horrible is it?
I've done it more.
I mean, it's pretty easy. And then if you don't use a template of your own, they have thousands of templates for everything.
Is the PDF upload available on the free version, or is that?
Should be,
That's the key.
it should be. You'll have to do a little bit of editing on your own, moving stuff around. Some of our one pagers, everything looks great. Others, it's like, ugh, it's a little rough. And you have to move, and like for whatever reason, sometimes the text doesn't show up right. Or an image looks funky because it has different layers in it.
Now, is the
Iconography?
is it loaded in there?
No, so in the elements tab within Canva, a lot of their stuff is similar to what we already have. So whatever they have, by all means use it. So for instance, I'll do this one.
So we can't go from here to our folder to pick
Mm-mm.
our icon, so it just
But
stay in the
But
environment.
the icons within Canva are very similar.
Can you take one that's currently black, like that clock, and turn it into a blue?
Absolutely, I can.
Okay,
So if you see this, you'll see this toolbar right here.
yeah,
You'll see it's black.
yeah, there you go.
You'll know that our color palette is right here, although that color's not right. You can change it to
But
blue.
still,
And then you
okay.
can put it behind it, so it's.
Uh-huh. You can change to
I have
orange.
trouble with the whole group of bring forward, bring back group, the
Yeah.
link, all that. I
So-
need a class.
So look,
Position.
go to position and then arrange. You'll go to layers. So you can put it all the way to the back.
Oh, I've never seen that, but you could do it like that before.
You can do it like that. You can bring it to the
Let's see what
front.
it looks like.
Oh, cause and I guess I'm thinking of like in Word or PowerPoint, you have to right click,
Yeah.
bring forward, bring back. I've never seen.
So for
Got it.
this, you can do that and it can show you which ones overlap too.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
show us how to put it in the back,
All right. So this one right now is in the front.
right?
So if you wanted to go to the back, you drag it all the way to the bottom.
Even though you want it on the back of that paragraph.
Yeah. So what I have to do is I need to move this above a little bit more for it to fit. But that's because I have a transparent thing right there. But it's behind the text. So
Okay.
everything's in layers.
Hmm.
So looking at this,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
this is on top of everything. Whereas this white is the background. It
Yeah,
is your base.
all right.
So everything that's above the white is gonna be above it.
So let me ask you, so if you wanted the clock to be the background,
Like
you
a
just move it
watermark.
down.
Yeah, you can make it into the background.
That's what I was wondering, how do we get the words in front of it and make it more transparent?
The
All right.
words are in front of it, that's what.
Words are in front of it.
And blue, it's the
So-
blue words.
The contrast.
So that's a good question, Kim. So right here on this toolbar, you have transparency. So 100% means it's the darkest it can go.
Oh,
There we
So
go.
that,
Like a watermark,
that lightens it up.
like that.
All right.
Like that.
But
for
these are all
me,
the
that's hard
elements.
for me to read as
Yeah.
a reader, because it's too much going on.
Right, so, and this is where some ADA stuff comes
Yeah.
in. Is that too much? Can the reader read it, the
Mhm.
screen reader? Is there enough contrast?
Yeah, like my
With-
eyes are focusing on it instead
Right,
of the word, the
right.
paragraph is all black.
Now Canva does have a phone app. I would not use it. I have fat fingers,
That's
so
where I
trying to
first
move the
started.
layers on my iPhone, I'm cursing it, cause I can't fix it. But this is all gonna be, I'm gonna do something much more in depth early part of next year.
Yeah, okay.
But it's gonna require people to have laptops with them. So I'm gonna go back to our stuff real quick. So for my friends on Zoom, do y'all have any questions?
Who else do we have on Zoom?
We have some folks from our LOSFA team that have joined us. I sent it to a bunch of people.
Oh, okay.
No, we'd love access to the SharePoint, those kinds of things. That'd be very helpful to, get in alignment with,
Yeah, for sure, Shane. What I can do is, I don't know if our systems are talking to each other, but I'll find a way that I can share it with you. So you can see everything we have for sure.
awesome, thank you.
It's on my to-do list to go through and kind of weed out and update, make sure all of our stuff is up to date and refreshed.
Is that a real short to-do list, like just one or two things, right?
You have to do
That's
it.
that's
Yeah.
how mine is, like.
My to-do list, I add something on my to-do list and I'm like, there's another one I need to add. So this is to Shane's question, this is my thing to share with the Regent staff, our internal library. Cause I know everybody reads the staff newsletter.
I do.
I
I
too.
do.
I do.
We did a read it. I found out that Regent Pryor. Did you see that? The newsletter,
That's a second newsletter.
did you hear what he said?
I'll know what he
Okay.
said.
The man writes the newsletter, of course.
No, this is an article.
This was the article, the stuff that clips on Friday. Oh, I know.
Oh,
I saw.
my
I did, you'll have to show me that
Yes.
on the side.
That's why I have anxiety.
quoted.
Okay, this is being recorded, Ken.
So the strategic library, so this has everything. Brand fonts. I try to put the one pages from the year on there, just so everybody has access to them. Our master plans, icons,
Okay.
logos. So our Regents logo, LOSFA, LumCon. I think I have the institutions on there. I need to go back and look. Some of our institutions continue to update their stuff, so I need to make sure everything's up to date.
Sola CC.
But basically, everything that's on my laptop that is external outside of photos lives in this library. I just keep the photos close to the vest just so I can kind of control that since most of those photos are not mine. And then a sales pitch for Monday's final workshop of this 4 series. Accessibility is everyone's job. For those in the room and those on Zoom that may not know, new federal regulations in regards to web content accessibility guidelines, 2.1 level AA, go into effect on April 24th of 2026. For our agencies and state agencies across the country. What that means is we need to make sure that we meet the ADA standards that the government has set forth. That means not only what I've talked about, contrast, photos, alt text.
Isn't it a shame that it's taken this long? That it's required to be.
Yeah,
I feel bad for people who've had this problem for a long time.
a lot of it has to do with the designers, the web platforms. So we have contracted out with Mesh here in Baton Rouge. They do a lot of ADA work for websites. So we're redoing all of them. Us and Lewis, LumCon and LOSFA, and then I think some secondary sites. For instance, dual enrollments through another provider. So that provider should have the ADA tools necessary to make sure it's compliant. But that has taken up an obscene amount of my time. It'll continue to take up an obscene amount of my time. I'm on a national panel about accessibility on Wednesday. The one thing to note, everybody is concerned about the legal ramifications, which I get, but nobody's gonna be 100% ADA compliant. That does not exist. As long as we are showing progress towards compliance, we are fine. I've had to submit all sorts of paperwork to the ADA state coordinator. She knows that we are taking on all of this in terms of new websites and redesigns. And the magic number I was told was around 80 to 85% compliance. You're fine. And that we'll have some language, legal jargon on the website that protects us in that aspect. And then here is my post-workshop survey pitch. So I had 11 fill out each of the first two. So I do read them all because I want to make sure this is a resource for everybody. And Chris Herring's not here to complain about no snacks.
I was about to ask, like, is there a question about snacks?
There's two open-ended questions.
I brought up the snacks too.
Oh, I knew it was you. I knew it. And also in the last question, if there's a subject you want me to consider. So like the AI one I want to do next year, is going to be about prompting. I took the Google AI Essentials class through Coursera. I had my students take it. And there's been a couple other courses I've taken online that I think the prompt, kind of similar to the pitch formula on Wednesday. There's a formula to getting good output with the prompting. So I will also share this link to the survey on my email out.
I'll put this in the survey, but just speaking, that AI one might be interesting to have like a dual, like you and IT.
Yeah,
AI together, kind of.
for sure. That's a good idea. Thank you. Yeah, please put that in there. With that, thank you for joining me for number 3. The third one in 1 week. I thought it was a good idea.
Oh, been there.
And then I see my schedule. I'm like, why did I do this to myself? So I'm gonna have a follow-up email after this. So in it, it's gonna be a link to the recording. It's gonna be these handouts, as well as the Adobe tips one I did for LoveCon today, for anyone that does use InDesign. And again, I want to do one specific where it's hands-on, engaging and instructional sometime in the new year. But I purposely made this a little bit more top level and not getting too much in the weeds, because I know for some people, I didn't know who was coming, and I know that can be overwhelming. And I don't want these to be overwhelming. I just want these to be good tips and tricks that can help people. Anybody on Zoom have any comments or questions before we say goodbye?
Happy Friday and thanks. I loved it.
Well, Lupe, I'm pretty convinced that I cannot make you not love things, so I appreciate it.
Oh,
A happy person.
I'm a good cheerleader.
Mhm.
We appreciate that. Well, awesome. Thank you again, everybody that joined us here in person or online. Look for my email in a little bit that follows up with all these documents, and hope y'all have a great weekend.
You too. Bye, everyone.
I don't know.